Hello and welcome to Dragon Racing League, Round 7 around Singapore. We are off to a flying start as we have started the qualifying laps here. For anyone who does not know, Singapore will be one of the toughest tracks these drivers will be facing over the next couple of days, or next couple of laps, I guess. It is 31 laps, plus qualifying, obviously. And we will be seeing who can do what and get themselves out there and get a nice, fantastic flying lap and get it all started. So hopefully everybody is doing well. We will throw everything up just so everybody can see where everybody is, what's doing what, and who is where. So as you can see, first few cars are underway. We are on board with the Greasy Goose as he makes his way through the first sort of section here into Sector 2, going through Turn 8 on his way to Turn 9. As I believe it's himself, and then out front of him is, I believe that's Bolanger. Yeah, Bolanger, who is up in the front, so he should be, though it looks like he has invalidated, unfortunately. So we'll hop back with the Greasy Goose as he is invalidated and crashed and now in a really rather unfortunate spot. As we will see Slayerized on his way through, heading on to turn 14. He has just set a purple Sector 2. It is fairly early for a lot of these cars. Most people are kind of out on some softs. Biggest thing we will touch on very quickly, there has been some changes. We'll call it our own silly season, if you will. So you will notice RDR Hayden and Racer X no longer with Ferrari. They have both moved over to Mercedes. So you can see both of them driving in the new Mercedes cars as Slayerized set a fast lap, and then Andy quickly changed that to 1:37.788. And then today, so along with those two, we will also have a couple of fill-ins in the Ferraris. So Eglonzo, he will be driving the Ferrari, as will Draftas? There we go. He is also going to be driving the other Ferrari there. So we will be rocking with those two. Goosey Gang, yes, Goosey Gang. So you can see, first set of laps are starting to fall now. So as of current, we have Andy in P1, followed closely behind by Hayden, Ketchin, Knick-Knack Paddywhack, Drafta, Racer X, Jacko, Electric Blade, Slayerized, Eglonzo, the OnlyFans Free, and Beamer Blunt. So we have a couple of guys, as it looks like Bolanger has now set a fast Sector 2 there in the with that purple in the Alpha Tauri. He's been coming along nicely. Getting stronger every race. It's fun to watch. And of course, this is going to be one of the tougher tracks a lot of drivers deal with. I know the in real life drivers lose about 3 kilograms worth of weight just driving this track. As I think, oh no, he does not. So he will be on his way coming through. Gets himself a 1:41.5 as we hop on with, let's see how Lucky Charms is doing, the other Alpha Tauri here. As he's making his way through turn 14 on towards 15, 16, 17. We're heading to, obviously, the next ones. 18, 19, 20, and 21. This little squared off chicane sort of thing, almost like a bus stop, except exaggerated, and then down into turn 21 as he makes his way through turn 22 and 23 as he decides, nope, not for me, let's go to the pits. We do have Osmanian Devil. Gas Boy is now making his way out of the pits. The Greasy Goose on his outlap this time, hoping to keep it a little bit cleaner, as we did get Wolfsburg Tuner having got himself into, oh no, he hop on with King C-Dot as he has also invalidated. Wrong. Poor timing, apparently. Beamer Blunt is on his way. It looks like he had just set a time as well. We'll stick with Osmanian Devil as he is on his way through Sector 1 into turn 6 there. Now to turn 7. And then unfortunately he is invalidated, so that will end that one. Let's, you know, we'll stick on with Gas. Oh, no, he is missing a front wing. So he's going to just make his way back to the pits. As the Greasy Goose is on his way out of Sector 2 here into turn 14. It's very tight, kind of right hand, almost hairpin style turn here. Yes, I guess, yeah, we should touch on that. So weather that we are expecting for the race itself today is going to be pretty good. The race itself, we're looking at a little bit of sun, but some overcast, kind of cloudy sort of things. Qualifying, this is where it's going to get real fun. We've got some overcast into some light rain, and they're calling for rain in about 5-ish minutes. So everyone should be on their way out real quick here, as we are going to want to get a fast time in before the rain starts, because once that happens, it's pretty much over in that sense. Obviously, you can still reset times and things like that, but you will more than likely be slower than on slicks. And then real quickly, we will touch on, so we did get some of the standings updated. Unfortunately, didn't get the graphic done, but we'll quickly touch on that. So in first, we have Andy, followed by Ketchin, then Jacko, Cam Tizzle, Knickknack Paddywhack, Electric Blade, Gasboy, Hayden, Wolfsburg Tuner, Racer X, Beamer Blunt, King C-Dot, the Johnny Damon, Strazi, Osmanian Devil, Slayerized, OnlyFans Free, Coda Go Hard, Lucky Charms, and Bowlinger. In the constructors end of things, we have Aston Martin leading the way right now, and then Williams in second, McLaren third, Red Bull fourth, Alpine fifth, Ferrari sixth, Alfa Romeo seventh, Mercedes eighth, Haas ninth, and Alpha Tauri in 10th. So as we see here, as the Greasy Goose makes his way through the next set of sort of back and forth left-rights, making his way out of turn 21 into turn 22, as he makes that quick little speed corner. As you can see, the rain's starting to fall now. He does get himself a pretty good time there. Wolfsburg Tuner has retired. So this is where it's going to get a little interesting, because you can see the rain starting to fall now. As we hop on board with King C-Dot. As he is just quickly on his little outlap here. We do have Slayerized making his way through turns 16 and 17, on his way to 18, 19, 20. On his way into quick 20 and 21 before heading down. And that's going to hurt anybody behind here, because you're now no longer going to have DRS, so people will probably start coming in, as that will hinder your time massively. DRS has been deactivated as the rain has started to pick up. Kind of see it falling there as well. So Slayerized, yes, he is retired. And yeah. So most people who have got a good lap set, they are going to take it and go at this point, because once that rain starts falling, it's going to leave a pretty solid slowdown for your race here. As you can see, multiple people now just coming in to retire the car in the pit lane. Andy, welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, now the track's starting to get real wet. You can see the spray coming up from behind these cars. And yeah, there's It's a little dicier trying to drive, especially on the street track in Singapore. Bouncy enough as it is, plus now always are having to deal with wet surface as well. It's just not going to make it very fun. As we can see, Andy is retired, Racer is retired, Jacko's coming in to retire, Beamer Blunt is retired. I think the only one really still out... Oh, no, Drafta has retired as well. Jacko, Electric Blade, he's now coming in. Gasboy is in the pits as well. Lucky Charms has retired. Most exciting play in all of racing. In pit retirement. Alright, are we going to go? All of them? Electric Blade, the only one left. So we have 5 minutes here. I think Electric Blade's the only one who has not retired yet. But off to a flying start as we get very shortly into our race here. While we're waiting on that, we'll quickly bring up our calendar. So this obviously being round 7 here in Singapore. Next week, May 14th, we will be heading to France. We'll have a nice little fun circuit to do some driving around on before we head to the UK and Silverstone. Italy, we've got Imola after that. Head to Canada June 4th. And then in Saudi Arabia for June 11th. This will be sort of our season 1-ish. We will be getting, with the new game coming out right shortly after this season ends, we will probably start our first bigger emphasis season, which will be a lot of fun. We're excited for that. But this one's going to be a lot of interesting racing to get ready for that. Some seat time for everybody. It looks like, oh, Cam Tizzle has now joined as well, which is good. So we will have all 20 drivers on today. Obviously, a few that will have started from the pits, or start from the back there, as they will not have completed. We are just waiting. We are waiting for Cam Tizzle to join back up. He is going to get everything he needs to get set up for the race. That we will head on over to the race here. And then just double check. Regards to incidents from round 6, we did have an incident involving a electric blade last week. Contact forces the driver off the track, so his 3-second time penalty was removed. Ooh, it is definitely coming down now. As he has also now retired, and we will head to the race here. And then incidents involving Ultimate Beast and Racer X. We did have a official warning for the contact between the two, and then a accidental contact between Wolfsburg Tuner and the Greasy Goose that evolved into a official warning as well. Outside of that, there will be nothing we need to worry about, so no changes to there. Race-wise, we will start off with Andy and Hayden on the front row, Ketchin and Knick Knack Paddywhack, Drafta, and Racer X, Matt Jacko, Electric Blade, Slayerized King C-Dot, Greasy Goose, Eglonzo, OnlyFans Free, Beamer Blunt, Bowlanger, Wolfsburg Tuner, Lucky Charms, Tasmanian Devil, Gasboy, Cam Tizzle at the back here. And that will be our grid to start this one. So we are not expecting any rain during the race. We will just be having to worry about some overcasting, little temperature changes, and that is it. We are now just going to wait for everyone to load back in for the second part and the more exciting, let's be honest, race portion of the event. Around the wonderfully beautiful and lit up street circuit in the Marina Bay in Singapore. Obviously, anyone who's a race fan, we seem to know, the fun time that happens at Singapore. There's always a little bit of controversy. For those who do not know, we had the Fernando Alonso win that's been sort of brought up a few times over the last while. When driving with Renault, they had his teammate Nelson Piquet Jr. crash on purpose to bring out a safety car that benefited Alonso. It was also the 800th Formula One race championship race, and the first ever Formula One race held at night, all at the same time, back in 2008. Current fastest lap is held by Mercedes' driver George Russell in a 1:46.458. Quite a tough track, though. There have been a lot of very entertaining aspects. I know there's been issues of cars losing electrical connectivity and having a problem with like electronics and things like that while going over the bridge, which is always interesting. Not really something you want to have to deal with. And this is definitely one of those races you will want to skimp out on fuel for. There has never been a race at Singapore that has gone without a safety car deployment. P12 better than I thought it would be. Fair enough. It's always good. It's better than starting in the back, unless you're trying to go for, your whole first to last, or last to first finish. I like to do the other way. I go first to last when I drive. Ooh. Though I don't suggest that one. It's just one of my many terrible racing talents. And those of us who do not remember, last year was won by Sergio Perez, followed by Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz Jr. We still have a lot of time before this race will happen. I think it's 130 days till the real life version. It is noted as the toughest race on the calendar. Very high heat, high humidity, lots of sweat and body fluid loss. 23 total corners, lack of runoff areas as it is a street circuit. Street circus sounds about right. 4 of the races have had to stop due to time limits. And your number one sort of passing section is at the end of Sector 1. It's your best shot. As you can see here, we are hopped in. We will be heading for our quick formation lap here. We'll ring up our track map. All that's disabled. No, we want tires. All right, as you can see, most of the grid here is going to start on our hard tires. Knick-Knack, Jacko, Electric Blade, and King C-Dot all starting on mediums. No one's starting on softs, so we'll more than likely have a hard to medium or a medium to hard as our, I guess, strategy for the day. But we'll see how safety cars play a factor in on this one, as there will be many of them for 31 laps around Marina Bay in Singapore. Curiously enough, it will, yeah, I think safety cars are going to play a lot bigger role in this one than we kind of expect. Typically, we've seen it max out. So the 5 safety cars more times than not whenever I'm around this track. We'll see how it all ends up going. It is going to be a very fun one. As you can see, Andy in his Aston Martin. You've got Hayden in the Mercedes, Ketchen in his Aston, then a Red Bull, Ferrari, another Mercedes, McLaren, Williams, as we all know, not usually this far up on the grid, but unless you come and see these guys race. Slayerized in the Alfa Romeo. King Seat in the Red Bull. We've got our Haas, another Ferrari. There's Iglanzo, as he will be one of our reserve drivers in the Ferrari today. We're heading to OnlyFans Free, Beamer Blunt in the other McLaren, Bolanger in his Alpha Tauri, Wolfsburg Tuna in the other Alfa Romeo, Lucky Charms in the other Alpha Tauri, Osmanian Devil in the Alpine, Gasboy in the other Alpine, and Cam Tizzle, who joined late in his Williams as well. As we're going to warm up the tires as best you can. Burn them out, you know, the good stuff. And for those of you who do not know, if you disqualify during the formation lap, you get sent right directly to your, I guess, spot in starting grid, and you lose all tire temperature you had in your cars, or in your tires. So Electric Blade, yeah, he's going to lose all tire temperature. Same with Sleigh Rise, Osmanian Devil, Greasy Goose. Okay, everyone, apparently, like half the field there, 5 of y'all, 6 of y'all. So it does hinder you if you are not able to get it going. And as you can see, all 5 lights are lit. They are out, and we are off, with Andy getting himself a great quick start here, as he is going to take him away. Ketchen getting a flying start as well, able to jump Hayden to get into 3rd place. Jacko moving up a spot. You also got Eglonzo and Slayeris having both moved up. Slayeris getting past him. Gasboy dropping a little bit there, as Racer X looks like he unfortunately got himself a little sideways and is now at the back of the field. We do have the 2 Aston Martins up at the front here, as we did get away quite cleanly outside of Racer X having himself a little bit of a spin. Doesn't look like too much in terms of problems. I don't know if this is me or if this is everybody. It looks like I might have frozen, so give me 1 second here as I try and figure this all out.
что, возьмем гаденыша, а? Давай, соглашайся. Твою ж мать.
Доус, на связи?
Да, сэр.
Есть проблема?
Никак нет.
And we are back. Not sure what happened there, but we are back going. Everything seems to be okay now. As you can see, Ketchen has taken over from Andy. We have Hayden down in P3, Knick-Knack Paddywhack in 4, Drofta in 5, Electric Blade in 6, Jacko in 7th, King C-Dot in 8th, Greasy Goose in 9th, OnlyFans Free in 10th, as we do have a yellow flag, but it does look like everything is okay from there. I do want that one. And then Beamer Blunt, Cam Tizzle, Wolfsburg Tuner, Gasboy, Racer X has made up some space as he is now in P15. We have Lucky Charms in 16th, Slayerized in 17th, Exlonzo in 18th, Bowlinger coming out of the pits as he is now in 20th, and Osmanian Devil moving up into 19th. As we do have Ketchen setting himself a purple sector 2, as they are making their ways down into 15, 16, and 17 here. For reaching this DRS detection zone that comes in right after you reach turn 21 here. As soon as you get on this exit, your DRS detection zone is right there as they come around, and Andy will have a DRS, as this will be one of the good spots to try and get some overtake. Andy and Ketchen going to more than likely try and work a little bit together to try and create as much space as they can. As we can see, Electric Blade is looking to make sort of a move here as they're going to come out of turn 3 into turn 4. There'll be a little bit of a slowdown corner coming out in turn 5 at turn 6-ish areas where you're going to be looking to see if you can make a pass. So we can also see Knick-Knack Paddywhack here. See, is really starting to put a little bit of pressure on Hayden coming into this turn 7. It's hard left here. So he is unable to get past him. He is able to hold on as we kind of have a little bit of a grouping all the way from 1st to, it looks like, about 7th, all connected quite well. As we do have Cam Tizzle and Beamer Blunt both trying to make some moves as Wolfsburg Tuner gets a 3-second time penalty just behind. We have, again, this little bit of a DRS train happening up. Making it very tough for anyone to get any sort of traction to get past, as everyone kind of has DRS right now. It's very, very tight street circuit, obviously coming very close to walls as you make your way through a lot of these corners. Into the main straight where they will get DRS right again, as Hayden does get the fastest lap with a 143.083. It's very clean driving so far. We are on lap 5 of 31. We had a couple of little spins. But other than that, everyone's been more or less pointing forward. As we see Knick-Knack Paddywhack kind of sandwiched in between the Red Bull and the Ferrari, or sorry, the Mercedes and the Ferrari. Into turn 13, which is quite a difficult turn. It's sort of a weird hairpin, but not quite, because you have a weird little turn getting into it. It makes it very interesting. Oh no! As you just see, Ketchin clips himself against the wall. We will see it. He is going to be done, and that will bring out most likely our first safety car here. You see Ketchin caught himself on that barrier, and that is going to end his day. As there it is, we do have a VSC, it looks like. And a few cars are going to now dive into the pits there, as Hayden has made his way into the pits. And so has Knick Knack Paddywhack. Seems a little early for Hayden on those hard tires, but might be feeling that they are just not moving. But he has hopped onto some mediums, and Knick Knack Paddywhack having gone onto some hards. Lucky Charm's going to get himself a penalty for speeding under the VSC. As now with that, Andy has created a little bit of a gap, and he is able to get himself out of DRS range, which should activate fairly shortly after we get going out everywhere again. It looks like we are back green. As now we have this little grouping here. Of Drofta, Electric Blade, and Jacko all very close together now. Slower down, we do have Wolfsburg Tuner getting himself a little twisted. As Knick Knack is going to try and reel in Racer X ahead of him, who also does have his teammate of Hayden just ahead of him. Hayden now obviously on those medium tires, having just taken a pit stop during the VSC there. Beamer Blunt has been passed by Gasboy just on the outside there. Obviously with lots of coming through that DRS. As it looks like we do have an issue. But they have gotten themselves back going again. It looks like an Alfa Romeo had a little bit of trouble. I believe that is, yes, that will be Slayerized. Had a little bit of trouble in turn 13. Hayden has made his way past Beamer Blunt as we see a Racer X doing donuts right behind him. That obviously is not the ideal way to take that corner. Fantastic luck for a few people able to sneak on by and get ahead. As we look, his Drofta has really started to reel in Andy here. As Andy looks like to be on conserving tires a little bit. Both of them running on those hard tires. Obviously Drofta has some speed. Nate Rayner saying, hey, how's it going, Nate? Hope all is well. Hopefully you're enjoying some F1 around, you know, the nice, fun Singapore that never is difficult to drive on. We have already lost one, as it looks like Slayer Eyes has come into the pits, as has Lucky Charms. Lucky Charms will get out ahead of Slayer Eyes now. We see Drofta really starting to put some pressure here on Andy as they are making their way through into turn 17. Nope, I lied. Turn 18, 19, 20, and 21 here. The Johnny Damon looking good. That's good. I had a little bit of a we had a little freeze happen a little bit ago, but we're good now. Electric Blade setting the fast lap at a 1:42.929. Very fast for sure. Drofta had just set the fastest lap, and the Electric Blade's like, no. You don't touch that. And took it right back over. We have a little bit of a DRS train formed up back here as Beamer Blunt has now been passed by Knick Knack Paddywhack, and I'm sure Beamer is not going to take that one very kindly, as he is going to put as much pressure as he can to try and take that spot back. As you can see, Gasboy having lost a spot, but Knick Knack Paddywhack going on the inside, heading into turn 1. It's a little loopy turn 2 as he sort of deals with pushing, but not actually pushing him off, which is great. Gets himself ahead as Beamer Blunt also is going to make the pass on OnlyFans Free right behind him as they make their way out of turn 5. It's very fast straightaway here. With that DRS open, they'll have no hope of catching, as obviously Beamer Blunt having a little more speed going through there. But a fantastic overall. It's the only fans for he is still going to be pushing Beamer Blunt, unfortunately now out of DRS zone, out of DRS range. So he's going to have OnlyFans Free right behind him. Little, not the most ideal if you're Beamer Blunt, but it looks like he is starting to kind of pull away just a little bit. This more technical sort of section here. He has now gotten himself out of DRS range as well, so we'll hop back up. Strafta is really trying to put some pressure on Andy here. Andy doing what he can just to stay ahead as we have this little DRS train of 3 cars plus the leader. Without DRS, as it looks like he is still able to sort of fight to keep himself ahead, as it looks like they have now lapped. I think that was Lucky Charms. Oh, Lucky Charms does get himself sideways, so he is facing, unfortunately, the wrong direction. Nice enough to wait for King C-Dot to go past him as he tries to whip himself around. But we do have Hayden setting the fastest lap in the medium tires back in P8. He has a little bit of gap ahead and behind him now, obviously. Strafta is right on the rear diffuser of Andy here as they're pushing their way through turn 9, on their way down to turn 10. Which is a weird little quick switch back before you head down over the quick little bridge here into this sort of weird hairpin that I absolutely hate myself, which is why I'm talking and not driving. As Osmanian Devil has made his way past OnlyFans Free here as well, as he is in the pits, as is Egglonzo. If you're some of these front runners, you're now trying to figure out who's going to pit when and where, as Hayden of the top 10 is the only one who has made his way into the pit so far. He pit during our VSC when we lost Ketchin on lap 4. Lap 5? On lap 5. Happened when he was still doing, or had only completed 4 laps. This little group here has stayed together pretty well all the way through. That's for the most part. We have started to see you guys kind of creating some gaps, but this top 4 being very close together. 5/10 splitting them all the way down as they make their way out of turn 4 and on their way to turn 5 here before getting on to the DRS zone, which you'll see that back wing open for all 3 cars behind Andy as he is still able to kind of hold off on it. Drafta looks inside, but decides maybe not the best idea to do on your way to turn 7. Lucky Charms is going to get a 10-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. That's an easy penalty to get, as he is in the pits now as well. It looks like Beamer Blunt has also come in after 9 laps on those hard tires. Will more than likely hop onto, yep, there it is, some mediums. Drafta has himself a little bit of a closer look as he's trying to make his way through. As it looks like Nick Nack Paddywhack has made his way past Gasboy as well. Hayden is right on the tailpipes of Cam Tizzle as he looks to make a move. He's unable to get past him coming into this little section of turn 11 to turn 12, crossing the bridge. He will more than likely, coming out of turn 13, look to get himself a great exit so he's able to get on that power as he gets a little too much. He does have the DRS open. Is he going to look inside? Yes, he is. He's going to not necessarily dive bomb, but he definitely tries to take that inside line. Fortunately for him, Cam Tizzle was able to fend that off as we are going to go into turns 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21. It's kind of quick. Right, lefts, left, rights, right, lefts again. Make the way under the bridge now. Into the final sort of interesting corner, double corner, I guess, your double left before Hayden is going to get himself DRS again coming out of this corner, and he is going to have it wide open, and he is right behind Cam Tizzle as he makes a look to the inside here, and then that he is going to make the move. Is it going to stick? It looks like it will, as Cam Tizzle now has been passed. As Hayden slowly making his way back up the field after having an early pit stop there. There's got a little bit of a gap, about 4.5 seconds to the Greasy Goose. And King C. also kind of out on his own here. Where you have Jacko, and this is going to be very important, as it looks like Electric Blade is having a little bit of trouble trying to stay up with them. We do have Beamer Blunt getting a time penalty, but it looks like, and that is a lap car just kind of getting out of the way as the leaders go past. I believe that was Bowlinger right there. So it may have been Lucky Charms. Yeah, I think that might have been Lucky Charms, actually. But unfortunately for Jacko, he's got to worry about trying to get past Electric Blade, as Electric Blade is now out of DRS range. Jacko's going to have to try and make a move, and obviously with this track, with how tight it is, with these walls being as close as they are, it is very hard to make a move. So it looks like we do have a Ferrari facing the wrong way. I believe that is Eglonzo. He is going to wait until it's clear so he can get himself turned back around. It does look like Electric Blade has come into the pits after 11 laps on those mediums, allowing Jacko to try and get free, but he is now 2.2 seconds back of this front group, as now Andy and Drofta are kind of on their own. Drofta is going to have DRS, as he is going to try and make a move. Will he be able to? As he looks to the inside, decides against it, cuts him back behind Andy as they make their way through turn 7. Into the quick hard right before another left, or a little bit of a straightaway on their way down to turn 10. For turn 10, 11, and then over top of the bridge here. Coming out of turn 12. For this sort of weird right-left hairpin of turn 13. But there is going to be DRS coming from behind him, and it looks like Lucky Charms has retired. And that is going to bring out a full course caution. As we take a look, Andy is going to be the first one to come up on him, as we now have our safety car out. So our first safety car of the evening. So we have an unfortunate retirement out of Lucky Charms. He was having a sort of a rough day, but this is a pretty tough track to have to deal with, as it looks like Nick Nack Paddywhack has lost a couple spots, so I'm not sure what happened there. It looked like he lost some spots to Gas Boy and Cam Tizzle, but not sure what happened, as we will most likely see anyone who is on some older tires coming on into the pits here. As yes, you can see there is Andy, as he is going in for his first pit stop. I believe Drofto was right behind him. Jacko is as well. We'll see who gets out where, how fast their pit stop goes. Bollinger does get himself a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That's not what you want to see. It does look like, for the most part, everyone will be coming in, especially if they hadn't pit already. You can see King C. has come in. The Greasy Goose will most likely be on his way in here as well. Yes, and you can see Hayden going by. So that will bump Hayden up a couple of spots. It looks like he's going to be in P4. Greasy Goose getting himself a time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. A lot of 5 seconds on there. And Ketchin, in his first quick little statement post catching a wall on lap 4 or 5, is Baku Wall made its way to Singapore. So he's catching that little bit of an edge and sending himself into oblivion. As we now will have about, was that 18 laps? Right? I can do math. 10... Nope. Yeah, 18 laps. 18 laps to go here. We'll see how well the medium tire holds up for a lot of these guys. As obviously most you can see are on mediums. It's only Jacko, Electric Blade, and King C. who are now on hards, and Osmanian Devil. We'll see how that tire plays out, as we will be able to bunch the field back up again here. Which, if you're Hayden, Jacko, you're pretty happy about that. Those unsure or curious for this coming year, so for 2023, there will be a few changes coming to the Singapore Grand Prix. The biggest one will be turns 16 to 19 are going to be temporarily removed. So for those who do not know, that is right, I believe that is right above. 16, yeah, so 16, 17, 18 all being changed. So 16, 17, 18, and 19. So that's right before the little square bottom part there near sector 3, near the little 3, where currently we have I believe that is Eglon. Nope, that is not. Alright, so right where Slayer is. So that's 16, 17 right there, and then the next two, 18, 19. So that whole section will be gone coming up, as they will now be a flat out section until turn 16, which is currently turn 20. If that makes any sense. Which will hopefully allow it to lap times to be decreased by about 20 seconds. Obviously, and this is largely because the NS Square, a multi-purpose venue that is being done, will be under construction, and they'll have to deal with right there. So, and you can see we have Slayer S coming in to pit. I'm assuming that's to do oh, he's getting a new front wing. Not sure what happened there, but rather unfortunate. So you can see the light's still on, so we will at least have a little ways to go here. Not sure if it will end at the end of this lap or not. I believe the only person who has not hit yet in a bit is Hayden. He is on those 8-lap-old mediums, and Wolfsburg Tuner on 8-lap-old mediums. Slayerized is on 6-lap-old hards, but he just put them back on. As in chat, we can see Cameron Ketchin. I can't believe that wall reached out and snatched me up. Yeah, I saw that. Looked like you, don't you just, it's, you know, it's just unfortunate. It just didn't want you to go by. You were looking quite smooth, and then, yeah, all of a sudden there was just, no front right tire on that car, and unlike motorcycles, you do need those third and fourth tires usually. Cam Tizzle saying, can't believe I made the progress up the field I made with half a wing on the first stint. Well, now just imagine how well you're going to do with full wing. I assume you have full wing. Let's see. He does have a full wing. So Cam Tizzle back with a full wing, giving himself a little bit of chance here. See how it all plays out, I guess. Maybe with a full wing, he'll be able to make more moves. Or you could donate it to Cameron. From what I saw, he was missing at least part of his wing as well. Poor Ketchin. I had to give Cam Tizzle a bunch of points today. Well, I mean, then it's only fair he gives you at least half a wing. Seems like a fair trade-off if you think about it. Just trying to make the race, the championships a little more interesting, hey? As we should be having the safety car in this lap here. We will have 16 laps to go. Should. Whether they actually do or not, who knows? Yes, there we go. So the safety car will be coming in this lap, as Andy now becomes the proverbial safety car. So we'll try and get as much warmth into those tires as you can. Figure out how much time you actually have as the safety car in Singapore. It's quite a long track. without that safety car in front of you. Let's watch all the weaving cars as they make their way through. It'll be a good shot. You'll get to see them all weaving across each other. Make our way down to turns 23 and or turn 22 and 23. And on his way, Andy is now off, and we are back at green. As he is rushing down to turn 1, having opened almost a full second lead, but it looks like we are going to have another issue here, as it looks like King C-Dot had something go wrong, and I'm not sure what it was, as Alonso has now just let himself go to the back of the field. Not sure what happened there, as Hayden is retired. Oh no, we had another crash up front, as it looks like Hayden and and Electric Blade have collected each other, and that has just sent it all into not a good place. As we lost 4 drivers right real quick. 3 drivers, sorry. All right away there. They have, it looks like, slowly been cleaned up. Yet somehow not a single VSC or anything. So, that's interesting. As Knick-Knack Paddywhack is going to try and chase down, as we have the Greasy Goose, Gas Boy, Knick-Knack Paddywhack, Cam Tizzle all right on top of each other as they're trying to make their way through. Not sure what happened behind, but it looks like unfortunately we have lost Hayden, Electric Blade, and King C-Dot. It's quite unfortunate that that had to happen. Amazed there was no safety car. Not even a VSC. Spillinger does get himself a 3-second time penalty back there. Greasy Goose, obviously he's going to be doing everything he can to try and take advantage of the time he was given, as Andy does set himself a fastest lap. We will stick here as Knick-Knack is really trying to put the pressure down on Gas Boy here, as it looks like he is going to not move. What? Oh, we do have another, as it looks like Bowlanger has crashed out in sort of the bus stop aspect of things, and our second safety car has come out, and as you know, safety cars breed safety cars. As Bowlanger has now retired from the session as well. Eglonzo is slowly making his way up, as he is going to catch a couple of places and get himself up into P14. Keep an eye out. I'm gonna have to watch, check out the Discord right quick to see sort of what's going on in there. There's a couple of very unfortunate laps there, and we lost 4 drivers all right away. As thankfully the field didn't get too separated, so we shouldn't have too long of a safety car. Shake my head. Yep, I'm, it's kind of what I expected out of Singapore, to be honest with you. It's a very crashy track, for sure. And I bet right about now, Bowlanger was wishing that the new track circuit layout had come into play. So we do have the Osmanian Devil and Racer X both coming into the pits here. And it looks like Slayerized as well. Wolfsburg Tuner is on 12-lap old medium, so he probably needed it. I love seeing. Oh, it's a blast to watch. It is terrible to run it. It is a nightmare. Alright, so it looks like for Hayden and Electric Blade, Hayden unfortunately lost control after he had a little bit of a slide and hooked Electric Blade, and they sent them both into the wall. And Eglonzo is keeping the front wing business in business here, as he is on his third front wing, apparently. The blaster drive, I hate it. I would rather drive Miami, and I don't like Miami either. This is like Monaco, but meaner. Somehow this sucks more than Monaco, because at least in Monaco, I know I'm out after lap 2. Here, I get like 5 laps in, and the laps are so long. Laps take like a month, and if there's a safety car, I mean, we're already over 2 minutes on this lap under safety car. It is so long. It hurts. At least Monaco is like a minute 10. Minute 12-ish. Looks like we will have one more lap under safety car here. Unfortunately, well, so yeah, so this will be our second safety car as we will head into, I believe this should be our last safety, or our last lap under this safety car. Fun fact, Kevin Magnussen actually has 2 fastest laps around Singapore. Never would have expected that one. The only driver to have more actual fastest laps is Lewis Hamilton. He's tied with Danny Ricciardo, who has 2. Fernando Alonso, who has 2. And Kevin Magnussen. And even funnier, on top of that, I believe Nico Hulkenberg also has it, but that was when he was with Force India. So 3 Haas drivers have fastest lap here. Or sorry, 2 Haas drivers have 3 fastest laps. There we go. As it looks like, yes, safety car will be in this lap as we head our way down into turn 22 and 23. And Andy will get us going again here. Tofta is right up on him, and then fortunately doesn't get quite as good of a jump at Andy did get on his way into turn 1. Looks like we have a little bit of an issue further back. A few people swapping positions down a little further down. So it looks like, ooh, this is going to get a little hairy. As Knick Knack Paddywhack is going to get passed by Gasboy. Cam Tizzle trying to make a move on the outside at the same time. Tizzle is right inside the rear diffuser there of Knick Knack Paddywhack as he tries to make a little bit of a move there. Knick Knack not letting that guy go. His OnlyFans free has made a move up on Beamer Blunt. Beamer Blunt trying to make his way back out in front. They also have to deal with a Wolfsburg tuner right behind him as Beamer Blunt is going to make it to the inside. And now he's kind of sandwiched in between as he does have Wolfsburg tuner on his outside as well. And that unfortunately sends Beamer Blunt around, and that is going to be a very questioned move there, as we can see Slayer as just getting and hooking that corner. Not sure why that brought out a safety car, considering he's still going forward. That is going to be a very questioned decision there. And I can guarantee that one will get brought back up right quick. While we have this safety car coming in right about now, we are quickly going to touch over some very interesting things going to be happening with the league that we have planned coming up. So, so for next season, or aka the next game here, we will be having a Formula 2 division. So that will run at the same time, but on Saturdays, so at 8 p.m. Eastern time, but on Saturdays, opposed to the Sunday that this one runs at. So it'll be 7:45. Yeah, EST lobby will open 8 p.m. EST qualifying will start. They will have feature and sprints. Sundays will be the F1 division of things. We are hoping, as far as I remember, we're hoping to have a couple of leagues as well. So it should be not only the F1, but this sort of league going on, but we want to do a no assist league, a some assist league, and then a almost full assist league as options. So there will be a few kind of things that we're planning to do, but for sure we're planning to do the F2 coming up. Shouldn't be another one when we just got back to green. Usually takes a lap or two for that. Yeah, that I don't know. As it looks like Beamer Blunt has also decided to retire Egg Alonso as well, having head into the pits and retiring as well. So now down to our final 12. Beautiful thing about watching Singapore races, it always comes down to who survives more than anything. And we will be doing trophies and for all that fun stuff. So we will be doing all of that for F123 for the new season. This is going to be what we refer to as our preseason. So I'm excited. There's going to be lots of fun things to do, lots of cool and entertaining things to go on. And lots that'll be happening with the Dragon Racing League. So feel free. See if I can track down a Discord link for anyone looking to join in. Possibly one of our admin might be able to snag a Discord link for us. I know Hayden's watching. Alright, so this will be safety car number 3, and we will have to deal with only 2 more, as OnlyFans Free has gotten himself onto a set of softs now. That'll be an interesting adjustment for some people. With only 9 laps remaining around this track. Safety car will be in this lap, so Andy is now going to become our safety car here. As we head into the final few corners before we will get this race back underway, heading into a lap 23 of 31. Hopefully that will be one of, if not the last safety car we have to deal with. We head into the final corner as Andy has taken off a little early, getting a jump on everybody, altering those times that he decides to go. See Wolfsburg Tuner getting himself past the Osmanian Devil. Fortunately, Osmanian Devil having to go a little wide on the outside there. Knick-Knack Paddywhack getting himself a time penalty as well, so Cam Tizzle's going to kind of be able to sit a little bit back there. He does take a look to the inside, does move back in behind him, but is going to still put him under pressure as they have the Haas of Greasy Goose right in front of them. As Knick-Knack dives down and tries to take the inside move here. Greasy Goose not letting that go, as unfortunately Cam Tizzle does make contact with the rear end of the Greasy Goose, who does get himself turned around, but he is now going to be in 11th, as he unfortunately had that incident there. And it looks like... oh, he is still moving at Racer X, having himself a little bit of an incident. We do have another safety car coming out. As it looks like, yeah, Racer has lost his front wing. And that is now scattered all over the front, or the straightaway there. So we will head into our 4th of 5 safety cars. So we almost made it a whole lap there. Not quite. We will come into the final few, and this should only take a little bit of time to get everyone all bunched back up, get everything cleared off, and be back on our way. As we can see, Racer X going to get himself a new set of tires and a new front wing. Most likely, I could see both him and the Greasy Goose throwing on some softs. Greasy Goose going with the mediums again. Interesting. Damn, looks like there has been some carnage. I wouldn't say there's been carnage. I think they've just been Singapore'd. And Singapore will not let you win easy. It is a very tough race, and you will most likely break everything. At least it isn't a red flag. Oh, that'll be interesting. I'm curious on how that's going to work in F123 if red flags are in. Because by now, we would have had at least 2 red flags with the way this has gone. I'd say you an electric blade. And then that right there with... actually, maybe only 1. Especially on this track. It's so narrow. So fast. So many walls. So many of them. But it'll be an interesting shootout to the end here, because obviously if you're in the front group, you don't want to give up track position, but if you're guys like Racer X and the Greasy Goose, and you were able to come on in and get yourselves a new set of tires, and you can get on those softs, it's going to be a little fun. Ketchen would have been... yeah, that's right. Yeah, Ketchen would have been a red flag. Yeah, he was in a weird spot. So yeah, he definitely would have had himself a red flag. Yeah, it's been a lot of safety car laps now. Two wide cars in front. I tried following on the outside, barely clipped. Yeah, we actually were watching that little duel going on, and we saw that. Yes, didn't look like anything malicious, just a unfortunate racing incident almost. But we'll see. I'm sure the stewards will have a conversation. I need a little banner that pops up that says under investigation. I would need a lot today. But it's been good. It's been fun. And for those of you looking to get involved with the possibility of F2 and F1 races and League for next season. No, that is not what I wanted. Oh, that works, I guess. Maybe. Possibly. Maybe not. Let's try that again. That way it's only DNFs. Yeah, that was... Because, what was it? Beamer Blunt didn't get totaled. Neither did Greasy Goose or Racer X, but we still had a safety car for those. I'm already joined, so I don't know how this... is not working. Yeah, no, I figured. I don't know how to... We'll figure it out. We'll get it in the description for next week. Have it below so that if you are looking to get involved, reach out. As you can say, RDR Hayden, if you do want to get involved, at the very least, shoot him a DM. He can send you an invite if you want to get involved with the racing for next year, as we will be heading to F2 and F1 for F1 2023. Do I need to? There you go. You're now a managing mod. You should be able to connect that now. There we go. As we are going to go back green right away here, as Andy has taken off real quick. Man, he has those starts down pat. The restarts, he always seems to get himself a fantastic jump. As you can see, Slayerez has been passed. Oh, looks like Slayerez... Oh, he's gone into the pits. I was like, oh, something happened to Slayerez, but he has entered into the pits, as we are going to have our bottom 3 of 9, 10, 11, as unfortunately Racer X does go around. He does keep it pointed sort of forward, and he's able to get himself back going, but allowing Greasy Goose and OnlyFans Free to get ahead of him here. As it looks like a Haas is looking at a double points finish if they can keep everything kind of pointed the same direction here. As Gasboy is right up on Osmanian Devil, so they have a little bit of teammate dueling here. Let's see if anything comes out of this, but they also have to be very under threat of the two Haas's right behind them. And there you can see, so if you are looking to get involved, Hayden has just posted a Discord link. Join in with the group. Be available for next year, next season, next game. So it looks like Racer X has himself another little bit of an issue out of Sector 2. In Sector 2 there. As we can see, Drofta has really not let it be easy for Andy. He's been very under pressure the entirety of this race. So he does get himself a time penalty, and that is going to take a lot of heat off of Andy. As we do have Gasboy and OnlyFans very close, as it looks like the Greasy Goose has actually managed to get himself ahead of Gasboy. And he's now putting a lot of pressure as we have this Alpine Haas going on. I don't know why that sounded scarier than it should have. As with the way things are going, as the Greasy Goose does try and take an inside lane coming out of the straightaway into turn 1. He is going to unable to make it through. We do have a yellow, as it looks like we have Slayer Eyes getting a little squirrely. Coming into turn 15 there now. As the Greasy Goose has made it past the Osmanian Devil and now is ahead of him and trying to chase down Wolfsburg Tuner. Osmanian Devil not going to let that one go super easily here, as he's going to try and do everything he can to sort of push to get back up into that position, as it looks like Racer X has come into the pits and has retired the car. Rough day for the Mercedes, as they have lost both drivers today. As has Alpine. We have, or not Alpine, sorry, Alfa Romeo. We did lose a Red Bull and a Williams, as the two Alpines are dueling it out, as Gasboy takes a dive sort of up on the inside there, but he's unable to actually get his way past it, as it looks like Cam Tizzle has made it by, as Knick Knack Paddywhack has gone for a little bit of a donut. That is going to allow Wolfsburg Tuner and the Gracie, oh my goodness, the Greasy Goose to get his way through as well. As Cam Tizzle is trying to chase down Jacko. Jacko just needing to stay within those 3 seconds, or has to get into those 3 seconds to stay ahead of and get Drafta there, as the DRS is going to be activated now. As Knick Knack Paddywhack has made his way back in front of, as it looks like the Greasy Goose has also gotten himself a little turned around. He's going to lose all that positioning he had gained, as Wolfsburg Tuner now passed by Knick Knack Paddywhack, as he has made his way back up into P5. As the Greasy Goose has come in, he is going to pit once again, get himself a new front wing. We're in our final 3 laps. Drafta really doing what he can to keep that 3-second gap there on Jacko. As unfortunately for Jacko, Drafta does have the DRS of Andy ahead of him, so he's able to kind of keep pulling away, whereas Jacko has just got to worry about playing defense to prevent Cam Tizzle from being able to get past him here. Drafta is definitely putting as much pressure as he can onto Andy. Obviously, with that 3-second time penalty, making it a little easier for Andy to not stress too much. Obviously, he is going to want to win on track, not just because of penalties. As these two have been very much 1 and 2 for the majority of this race. Once Ketchin established that the wall is in fact hard, it does not bend when you hit it with a car. Strictly for science, if you ask me. Cam Tizzle also trying to put Mad Jacko a little bit to work, as Gasboy has now gotten past his teammate, but he is again gonna have to kind of give in his teammate to the Wolves, as OnlyFans Free is trying to make his way around. You see the Greasy Goose a little further back here, as the two Alpines trying to sort of work together-ish, as it looks like Osmanian Devil is preserving, harvesting energy, trying to fill that battery up a little bit. This duel looks like it could be very interesting. If Drafta is going to end up staying around, or if he's just going to stay reserving, anytime he comes in, he's going to be a big challenge for Andy to deal with, as they come in to the second last lap here. Our penultimate lap. Very comfortable lead outside of 1 and 2. There's a nice gap there. Obviously, Drofta has his time penalty, and we will quickly take a look at what penalties we do have coming into this. So as of right now, you have Drofta with a 3-second penalty, but as of timing-wise, he will not lose a position, as Knick-Knack Paddywhack gives himself another 3-second time penalty, so he is now up to 6. Wolfsburg Tuner has 6 seconds as well, which is going to allow Gasboy to actually be able to jump him here. OnlyFans has 6 seconds. Osmanian Devil is now at 3. But he has dropped back considerably, as it looks like he has lost his front wing as well. So he's going to have to come into pit. And this might actually allow the Greasy Goose to come out and get himself a new lead, or an extra point, actually. But as I say that, Osmanian Devil has made his way completely past the pit. So unless he's going to come in for the last lap, which makes next to no sense, he will be kicking it around out there. It looks like we have Knick-Knack Paddywhack getting himself a little bit of a problem, as he has now retired here. As he had a little bit of an incident coming across the bridge there. As we take a look at our biggest winners on the day, so Cam Tizzle with a 16 position gained in this guy, as well as Gasboy with 13, Wolfsburg Tuner 11, Osmanian Devil 10, the Greasy Goose gaining 2. A rough day for Ketchin. Like I said, he just had to test that wall, make sure it was actually firm. It was, in case anyone was wondering and curious. As we come through for our final lap, the Aston Martin of Andy and the Ferrari of Drofta have been side by side more or less the entirety of this race. Knick-Knack Paddywhack has now dropped completely out, and he will have DNF'd as well. So now, basically, if you finish the race, you're getting points. Oh, as Andy gets a little bit of a drift coming out of the corner. Somehow able to open actually more of a gap from that. As we make our way through these final few corners. I say final few, but there's still like 9, because for some reason... Because this street circuit is the devil. With its 23 corners that you have to now make. As we are into turn 20 and 21. He's going to make his way through turn 22 and 23, as he is going to go on to win the Singapore Grand Prix, followed very closely behind by Drofta, Jacko, Cam Tizzle. Wolfsburg Tuner is going to be trying to make his way through, as he is going to have Gasboy behind him, so he does have to keep this one together so that he can make it through, as he will come in P5 as he makes his way around the corner, so that'll be P5 for him, Gasboy in P6, but because of penalties, Gasboy is going to jump him. OnlyFans is going to be in 7th, Osmanian Devil in 8th. As he is almost done here, as he is trying to limp this car through without a front wing, as it is not the easiest track to lose a front wing on and keep her going straight. He is somehow going to be able to do it as he comes through into P8 with the Greasy Goose right behind him for P9, and Slayer Eyes being the last vehicle here, as we will stick on board and watch this final race as we get some... You can hear the fireworks going off in the background. As he goes underneath the bridge there. Through to the last couple corners here, as this is turn 22 and 23. As he makes his way through and finishes us off in P10. So fantastic racing. Gasboy is going to be your driver of the day. Andy will be your race winner. There's a sight we haven't seen in a really long time. Aston Martin on top, a Ferrari right behind them, and then McLaren of Matt Jacko. Something we don't see in real life, at least. So there you have it. We had Andy in P1, Dropta in P2, Jacko in P3, Cam Tizzle P4, Gasboy P5, Wolfsburg Tuner P6, OnlyFans Free P7, Osmanian Devil P8, Greasy Goose P9, Slayerized in P10, and then we had Nick Nick Paddywhack, Racer X, Beamer Blunt, Egg Lonzo, Hayden, Electric Blade, King C-Dot, Bowlinger, Lucky Charms, and Catchin' All DNFing, unfortunately. Rough day around. Rough days all around. But that's Singapore for you. It will ruin your day very quickly. All right, well, let's take a look, and we have Andy all roaring and ready to go. I can speak well English today. So we will pull him on in here. So Andy, how was that one?
It was chill. It was a lot of safety cars. So yeah, I don't know. It's a very it's one of those safety car tracks, you know. But we take the win. We take the fastest lap. Unless I didn't get it. Yeah, I got it. At the end. So happy with that. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of safety cars now tried to keep track position after I pitted. I knew the tires would last after the pit stop. So that was fine. And just managing throughout between the safety cars, managing ERS and tires pretty much, and that was it. Sad to see Ketchin go into a wall that reached out towards him and grabbed him into the Shadow Realm, but we take the win with us, at least.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think we caught a little bit of that, of him introducing himself to the wall. I think it was just him trying to prove that walls are tough, and he just decided to test it with the car and see what happens. So, no, it was definitely good. And then, I mean, Drofta was right on you for that entirety of the race. I'm assuming you were hoping it was going to be a little easier to deal with, but having him right there, did that really change how you did anything, or was it just kind of keep him behind you, and then once you got that, let him get a penalty, which he ended up doing, and then just kind of going from there?
Yeah, to be honest, it probably would have had like a jump on me sometimes, coming on that straight, because I didn't want to use that much battery, but I got a little bit lucky with catching DNFing. Then he could kind of tell me what he was doing and stuff, so he was kind of engineering for me then, and that was helping a lot. I knew when he was using battery and stuff, and that helped me, so I didn't get like jumped on the straights, and that really made the defense a lot easier for me.
For sure. Well, congratulations on the win. Was there anybody you wanted to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Oh, definitely my teammate Ketchin. Thank you so much. That engineering there, that gave us the win. So sad to see you go into the Shadow Realm, but thank you for helping out.
Sounds good. Well, we will see you next week as we are in France, so we will catch you for that one.
Yeah, definitely.
Alrighty, have yourself a good rest of your day.
You too, Spirit.
Alright, thanks, buddy. Alright, and now we will pull in Jacko here, as he was in P3 there, so we're going to pull him up. Jacko, how did that one feel? It seemed like a very, very interesting combination of safety cars and non-safety cars all at one time.
Yeah, it was a tough race. There was not much I could do differently once I'd made the choice to start on mediums. I kind of got boxed out at the start, which meant I think it was Electric Blade came past me, and we got past someone else off the line. And then we had that 7-car train at the start, where making a move is very risky because you might pass one car and then run into the back of the next one trying to execute the move. So we ended up just waiting it out, and people pitted at the right and wrong times. It seemed that for a medium starting strategy, I played it as well as I could have. Hards would have been better to start on in hindsight, of course. But yeah, then the safety cars really removed any rhythm from the race, and I hoped to have stayed with the top two, but it wasn't really possible when they were on mediums. And when P2 picked up a penalty, I wished I could have been in with it within that 3 seconds, but there was too much life left in those mediums, which could have made that whole distance without all the safety cars. But I think I would have had a better chance if they didn't have so many interruptions to just make the tyres last so much longer. So I was in the end lucky to remain in P3 for that reason, because I was under a reasonable amount of pressure. But I just saved the ERS for the right times and was able to stay in the position.
For sure. I mean, it definitely looked a little tougher, and it kind of seemed, the hards were an easier tire to start on, and then swapping to those mediums for the end with the lighter fuel. But like you said, you managed to make it work, get yourself a P3. Unfortunate day for your teammate as well. Fortunate day for many a driver today, as we ended up losing about half. Yeah, we ended the grid with 10 drivers still pushing forward. But hey, points are points, and I'm sure you're not going to argue with them. I mean, it was a great P3, and you managed to hold off Cam Tizzle, as he was having himself a good race as well. But no, fantastic job for you. Looked like a lot of fun, more or less, mainly because I was up here and didn't have to actually drive it.
Oh yeah, Singapore's always fun. The only thing that wasn't fun was just the number of yellow flag laps we had. But yeah, great races from I think the top 4 were the only ones to one stop, and that was clearly the best way to go this race. P20 to P4 is really impressive from Cam. Andy, as always, with a fantastic showing, and newcomer in the Ferrari was also he had a lot of pace. So congratulations to all of those drivers.
For sure. Well, was there anybody you wanted to give a quick shout out to before we let you go for the rest of the night?
You know what? I'll give Slayer a shout out. He was there in the party with me and suffering through that race, and didn't give up, even being almost a lap down, having spent I think 6 times through the pit lane for new wings, and managed to get himself a point in the end for just sticking it out. So I think that's a good lesson for anyone who might err on the side of rage quitting sometimes. They just stick around. Things can happen and fall into your lap, and yeah, I think that's a good way of looking at it.
Sounds good. Yeah, no, it was looked like a lot of fun, and yeah, you stuck around. You get that little bit. You get an extra point just for not giving up. So no, it's fantastic.
Exactly.
Well, congratulations on the P3, and we will hopefully see you again over in France for next week.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
No worries. Have yourself a good rest of your night.
You too.
All right, and that is going to be the end for us here at Dragon Racing League. Like I said, we will be back next week in France, so feel free to come on by, hang out, and enjoy yourself some nice cheese. We'll catch you guys then. Have yourselves a great rest of your day, and we'll hopefully see you on the next one. Talk to you guys later on.